The ticket price. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding out.
How does the absence of one player cause a 71% drop in ticket prices for a single game? We are discussing Caitlin Clark. Take a look at the Fever vs. Sky game tickets, which went from $86 to $25 overnight. This isn't a league-wide decline. It's a real-time impact of a superstar. Just a few weeks ago, it would have been unimaginable for some games to have get-in rates as low as $9.
The Caitlin Clark effect has been a net positive for the WNBA and all of its teams. But the star guard expected to miss a minimum of 2 weeks. The league will see the flip side of her impact, and there are already initial data points. This is front office sports. No conspiracies, no BS from them. Statistical data.
Let's examine the startling statistics underlying this WNBA issue to see what's actually going on. Is this evidence that Clark is the only thing influencing the league? And will Angel Reese falter in her shadow?
Well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded, and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't want this.
Prior to her injury, tickets for every Fever game were extremely expensive. For certain games, supporters were paying get-in costs in the low 80s, and the excitement was so intense that teams began taking drastic measures to take advantage of the Chicago, for instance. Sky moved their game against the Fever from their customary 10,400-seat Winston Arena to the enormous 21,000-seat United Center. This was no small change, as it was a wager that Clark by himself could pack an NBA-caliber arena, but as soon as Clark went down, everything changed, and the drop was abrupt and spectacular.
Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, oh, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
Let's now discuss the specifics. Before Caitlin Clark's injury, the cheapest ticket for the Fever vs. Sky game at the United Center was $86. After Clark was ruled out, the number crashed to $25, a 71% drop, and it happened almost overnight. The same thing happened for the Fever's road game against the Mystics in Baltimore, where the get-in price was $41 before the injury, and then it dropped to $22, a 47% drop.
They stink now. Yeah, it's about me too. No, it's not, and this is proof.
Even tickets for Clark's anticipated performance at smaller venues, such as the Dreams Gateway Center Arena, were expensive, with get-in costs of $147. The worth of a ticket was determined only by her attendance. It wasn't just about 1 or 2 games either.
Games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42%. Since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137, all the way down to $80.
Did you realize that the average ticket price for the 5 Fever games before June 10th dropped from $137 to $80 following the injury? That's a 42% decrease in just a few weeks, and these aren't small changes. Fans have made their message quite clear. No Clark, no sell. You can feel the energy leaving the building even before tip-off because the demand for tickets is directly related to her being on the court, and when she isn't, fans are just not as interested.
People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday normal people. A majority of these are everyday normal people who watch Caitlin Clark in Iowa, watch her in her first year in Indiana, said, man, I want to watch that. I want to go to those games. I want to experience that. They won't be able to experience it. Time to sell.
When Clark was unable to play, the plan backfired, leaving the Sky with thousands of empty seats instead of a crowded audience. The United Center move was supposed to be a celebration of women's basketball's growing popularity and a showcase for both Clark and the league's new wave of players. The league's wager on Clark's ability to bring crowds was revealed in real time, and her absence affects more than simply the cost of tickets. Attendance, energy, and the overall environment all suffer.
I mean, it's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it. Everybody else, get in the back. Get in the back.
This isn't your average celebrity injury tale, when fans may complain but still go. The WNBA statistics clearly illustrate that Clark's absence is a serious problem. There is no deep bench of marketable stars to take the slack, at least not yet, and the WNBA is facing an unavoidable reality check. The league has grown, yes, but it is dangerously focused on one player. If her injury can cause this kind of collapse in demand, what does that say about the league's foundation?
The marquee matchup in the WNBA, like it or love it, rivalry or not, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that is the marquee matchup in the WNBA, and those tickets are crashing just as well. From $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips to get in there.
Angel Reese is in a difficult situation because of Clark's departure. The league is watching to see if she can handle the pressure, and she is everywhere. She swaggers, styles, and is always in the conversation off the court. She has even stated that fans tune in for her, and there is no doubt that she has developed a strong personal brand. However, this is where the numbers start to tell a different story. When Clark isn't playing, all the pressure is on Reese to demonstrate that she is just as much of a draw, and the market's response is obvious so far. Let's take another look at what happened with the Chicago Sky.
And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to carry the lead.
When Clark was ruled out, ticket demand abruptly dropped. The arena felt way too big for the event, and the excitement faded. This wasn't just about one game either. The team didn't move games to the giant United Center for fun. They were counting on the Reese versus Clark rivalry to fill seats and create a must-see event.
The get-in tickets for the Fever's rivalry game against the Chicago Sky on June 7th are down 71%, from $86 to $25.
The league had assumed that Reese's fame would maintain interest, but the outcomes revealed otherwise. The Mystics vs. Fever game was another test of Reese's star power, demonstrating how the influence extended beyond Chicago.
These prices are going to continue to drop.
Even in cities where Reese's name is mentioned, the excitement surrounding her is genuine, but when it comes to selling tickets, the numbers simply aren't there. This is a sign that fans aren't attending Reese shows as much as they do for Clark, as evidenced by the 47% drop in ticket prices from $41 to $22.
Wednesday's Fever game versus the Mystics at CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore has a get-in price of $22.
Reese is always outspoken about her support and the attention she receives from the public, but she hasn't said anything about the ticket price crash or the unexpected lack of demand, which leaves league insiders and fans to make their own judgments. Reese finds herself in a challenging position because, although she makes headlines, there are great expectations for her to step up, and the data indicates that she can't do it alone. Is this a clever strategy to sidestep unpleasant questions, or does it reveal something about the strain she's under?
This game get-in was like $100 at one stage. This was $100 at one stage. Let's go one ticket. Or well, is it two tickets? Two tickets. Let's just see what it costs for court. Look at how many, oh my God, look at how many people are selling tickets.
You may be wondering what Reese did throughout her time in college. Her LSU showcases her moments that became viral. It's simple to think that her star power will endure because of her enormous fan base, but the truth is otherwise. Although Reese is still a star and thrives in the spotlight, the league's reliance on one player is currently evident and is revealing the limitations of even its largest backup plan. Clark's presence fills arenas, but Reese's presence, at least thus far, doesn't move the needle to the same degree.
But I'm like, I didn't realize just how bad it was going to get. I didn't realize how bad. Like, they all moved arenas and everybody's trying to sell their tickets. Like, if you look, the get-in price is $23.80. $23.80 is the get-in price for tomorrow night.
The WNBA's wager that Reese can continue to lead without Clark is beginning to backfire in terms of ticket prices. When Clark is absent, attendance and energy all decline, and Rhea is unable to stem the decline. This sends a difficult message to the league, and for Rhea personally, it's not just about her. It's also about what happens to the league when its top draw abruptly disappears, and whether anybody else can fill in.
Even though the mainstream media wants us to believe that Angel Reese is a huge star, we have years of evidence that proves otherwise. Like I say all the time, there is a huge difference between a star and a draw. You can be a star, you can be famous, and still not be able to draw flies to a fresh turd.
This pressure, all of these figures, and the focus on Rhea are only the start of what is becoming a more significant issue for the WNBA. The consequences of Clark's injury are becoming more severe and are revealing flaws that extend well beyond any one player. When the league's top draw abruptly vanishes, what is truly at risk? Caitlin, the WNBA's recent surge in popularity, those sold-out arenas, record social buzz, and skyrocketing ticket prices, was meant to herald a new era. But Clark's injury has put the league's entire structure under scrutiny, and the cracks are showing. The league isn't just going through a difficult time, it's facing an unavoidable reality check.
Angel Reese and the WNBA have been using race to bring awareness to an incredibly bad product. Once you remove Caitlin Clark from the equation, there's no reason for people to watch this league, which is why people haven't been watching Angel Reese throughout her career.
The WNBA reportedly lost $40 million last year, and owners are already doubting the league's long-term viability. If the media rights deal is less than anticipated because Clark isn't playing, it could mean even more difficult times ahead, with less money for teams, fewer resources for players, and more pressure on the league to demonstrate that it can survive on its own. The entire business model feels fragile when so much depends on the health of a single star.
They're losing merchandise sales, they're losing food sales, they're losing beverage sales, they're losing big. They took a big gamble to get into that arena, and they're losing big because it's not going to be full, and those people aren't going to be buying things there.
There is genuine discussion about her options. The Clark factor isn't simply about what occurs in the US. The WNBA can't match the thought that the league's biggest star could depart for a better offer elsewhere, where she could reportedly earn $20 million annually. It serves as a reminder that the WNBA is in a global talent market and cannot afford to lose its top players. Should Clark or other stars choose to pursue opportunities abroad, the league's capacity to draw in sponsors, supporters, and network partners may suffer significantly.
They're getting a new media rights deal. That thing won't be worth shit. If Caitlin Clark was to either get really injured and couldn't play, or decided to just say, I'm not going to play here anymore, I'm going overseas. Where, by the way, they would pay her, my God, some of those countries might pay her $20 million a year to come over there and play. And I'm not kidding.
There is a lot of pressure to maintain Clark and her happiness. Whether or not you agree with that, it illustrates how desperate the situation feels. Some analysts have even suggested that the league should be protecting its stars by allowing superstar calls on the court, similar to what you see in the NBA, or with soccer icons like Lionel Messi. The reasoning goes that if the league wants to keep fans interested and maintain its stars' marketability, it must make sure they're featured and protected.
It's going to be real tough because even if you're out 3 weeks, you're missing a lot of game, a real portion of the year. All right. The ticket prices. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding out.
The WNBA's reliance on Clark is similar to other leagues that have built their brands around a single superstar. For example, when Messi is absent from MLS, ticket prices plummet and teams fight to keep fans satisfied. The WNBA is now in a similar situation, and it is evident that depending solely on one or two players is a risky tactic. The league has attempted to promote other stars, but nobody has yet to match Clark's influence at the box office or on television.
She was the league. Keep in mind, my point I'm trying to get to is when it came out that the league lost $40 million last year, NBA owners that own portions of these WNBA teams were starting to get angry and ask a lot of questions about when is this league ever going to make money. So that tells you there was starting to be a little life support situation happening when the owners were starting to get angry about never making a profit on this league.
The WNBA must figure out a way to spread the word and attract more stars, or it runs the risk of repeating this cycle each time a major player is sidelined. It is not enough to hope that another player will simply step up and fill the void. The numbers show that even the most well-known names after Clark can't keep demand from dropping. This goes beyond a single injury or a few poor ticket sales weeks. As the dust settles after Clark's absence, the league faces a fundamental challenge about how it safeguards its foundation and shapes its future. There has never been a more pressing need for substantive change.
With Caitlin Clark, they can make money with the new media rights deal. If that was to fall through for some reason, the league is cooked. Close it down. Or Caitlin Clark could, I don't know, call up Elon, start her own league.
The story is told by the numbers. Even though Angel Reese and others are gaining attention, it's evident that fans are making their voices heard. The numbers show that no one else is attracting fans at Clark's level, which is more than just a setback. It's a signal for the WNBA to rethink how it develops and markets its stars. If you think Angel Reese can step up or the league needs a new approach, let us know in the comments. Clark's absence caused home ticket prices to drop by 42%, and that Sky matchup saw a 71% crash overnight games that once promised packed crowds to struggle to fill seats.